Hello there, and welcome back to Four Times in a Podcast. You join us on the evening of the 14th of May, just under 24 hours since Celtic were victorious in their second last game of the league season with a dramatic, controversial 3-2 win at Motherwell. It saw them go behind, then equalise through Diza Maeda just before half-time, before a Benjamin Negrin wonder goal made it 2-1 to Celtic, but then they conceded with 5 minutes to go, and it looked like title aspirations were slipping through their fingers. But as has been the case so many occasions this season, Celtic went to the whistle, and with the last throw-in of the game were awarded a penalty for a handball that's definitely not caused a massive implosion throughout the media and Scottish football and beyond. That saw Kelechi Iheanacho step up and send the Motherwell keeper the wrong way to ensure that Celtic will take the fight for the title to the last day. They go into the final league game of the season at home to Hearts, 1 point behind them, meaning that any type of victory will be enough to secure a league title for Martin O'Neill and his men, and there's no worries about goal difference anymore, which might be for the best because Hearts obviously won 3-0 last night as well. So full compliments, myself, Danny and Andy here, the new Tony, should be joining us shortly. But Danny, I have to come to you first. Those that listened to us earlier in the week, when we gave our usual predictions, I think we're ranked 99% of the season, but after you were so successful in the Scottish Cup quarter-final when you named the way Celtic were going to win, and you even named a few Rangers players that were going to miss penalties, you outdone yourself by predicting that Celtic would win 3-2, and if that wasn't enough, you also predicted that Kelechi Iheanacho would score late on in injury time and cause a meltdown within Scottish football. So before we launch the Patreon where you're going to start getting out the lottery numbers, how did you feel when that landed? And I mean, I know I've just spoke to you, we gutted that you didn't have a penny on it.
Obviously, I'm devastated. I just one of the boys, Scott, who sent us a message, just said you're a sicko. But the thing is, I forget half these predictions before, like, as soon as it's said and it's done, it's like you forget all about it. And it was just when it went in, I didn't really celebrate. I just kind of sunk back down to my chair because it's a bit of an emotional roller coaster. And then I remembered something about Iheanacho. I was pretty sure I said he would score, and then somebody put the clip on Twitter, and then I think we clipped it and pretty happy with myself. But last night was a real emotional roller coaster. It was, I don't know, Everton just reminded me of 2005 and Martin O'Neill at Fir Park. Motherwell coming out in an alternate kit. There was a thing last night, I think it was about 77, 78 minutes, I can't remember the exact time. We were 2-1 up, Motherwell were right in the game at this point, they were passing us off the park, and it came to O'Neill, and O'Neill was trying to kind of thingy the team up the park, and I'm pretty sure he done that in 2005. I know I've got a really good memory for these things. I've got a horrible feeling that I remember him doing it with his tracksuit on in 2005, and Everton just seemed to fucking fall into place when Motherwell equalised. And sometimes you've got a feeling that Celtic will go and do it, but last night I can't lie, I didn't think we would do it. Seen that thing earlier, a boy, it's terrible. I seen it earlier on Twitter, and boy said it, and exactly what I was thinking. The ball was only in play for about 90 seconds in the whole injury time. We didn't look like scoring. I mean, I think you said it last night, Dan, in our chat, that when Scales gave it away, you thought the game was done, and I was the same. I thought the boys were going to cut it back to somebody running in to finish it. But we didn't create anything. It didn't look like there wasn't even anything. I think Sriracha had a cross after about 89 minutes, and that was the last time with the ball near their goal, maybe. But you get a throw in, you take it, and then I thought the boy elbowed Trusty at first. Trusty went down holding his face, and I thought, yeah, we might be in here. And then it kept showing replays, and at first I didn't see it, and then you see the boy's horn up, and you're like, possible handball. You know, when you see it again, slow-mo, the boys get his horn up. I really don't know what he's doing. It's the most stupidest thing ever, but I'm so glad he done it. And it's a great spot by the VAR, and obviously sent the ref to the monitor, and people are greeting that VAR takes too long, and now they're greeting that VAR doesn't take long enough to get a penalty, and I wasn't sure if Iheanacho was going to score or not. It was just one of the games. But thankfully put it away, and it puts us in the driving seat not the driving seat because we're still second place, but we've got all the momentum, we've got all the impetus going for Saturday. It was great, but I thought we were really poor last night. I don't know if stylistically Motherwell are just a bad matchup for us, I don't know, but they seem to have played really well against us this season, and we got a bit of a chasing in the first half. for large spells of the first half. I was actually more relieved than anything else when Maeda scored, because I thought Motherwell were going to score again, and at that point I think Hearts were 2-0 up. If Motherwell had went 2-0 up, it would have been curtains. But the team keep fighting, and Egan's goal was fantastic. I was delighted for him, because he's not really done much recently, so I was delighted for him. And then there was 5-10 minutes where I thought we were going to kick on and score again and see it out quite comfortably, and then Motherwell just flicked a switch again and started knocking the ball about, and we were all over it. Get away with a few, and then didn't get away with one too many, and then obviously all the drama later on. But they just keep finding a way, this team, and they'll need to do it again on Saturday. But after everything that's happened in the last 3 weeks, you wouldn't bet against them.
No, definitely the way this is going this season, you can never rule this team out. And I'm a bit like you. I went through every emotion last night. I thought we started the game first 15 minutes. It was a good game. I thought both teams were having a go at each other. It's as you would expect. It's two teams that prefer to get the ball on the ground. Motherwell have got plaudits all season for it, but then they obviously score as a bit of deflection. I think Sinisalo's maybe a bit unsighted at it, because I think if he sees it, it should be a relatively comfortable save for him. But I think just wee nick and being unsighted puts it away from him. And at that point, he did worry, because Motherwell looked like it wasn't too dissimilar to the way they played us in December, and they were knocking it about well. Maeda had a good chance where he went through and put one. It was a pretty similar position to the one he scored a few minutes later. But the first one he had, he put wide, and fair play to him. He's just came alive at this stage of the season. It's a good run by Yang, and he sort of wiped out. But thankfully for us, it breaks to Maeda, and it's a fantastic finish. And I think we were talking about it in our chat earlier. It's one of his best finishes for Celtic, because he's always sort of labelled with not having much composure on that, but it's a dynamite finish, right drilled into the bottom corner. He's a keeper, no chance, and you get to half time and you're thinking, right, here we go, we can reset. And I'll no lie, I was sort of hoping that Motherwell would fall away when I watched that game on Saturday with Hearts and Motherwell. I thought Motherwell just completely went into their shell in the second half, and I was hoping that would happen in the second half of this game. Obviously we started okay, and then it's a fantastic goal, as you say. Negrin's not done much, and I was screaming at him at points in that first half. Him and Taneke, I thought, really let themselves down last night in that first half. They just didn't seem to be, like, some of their attempts at tackling and attempts to win the ball back. They were the two that were getting it from me, but it's an absolute wonder goal to put it in that top corner with like sort of backlift on it, and 20-25 yards out. It's a wonderful finish, and I thought, right, here we go, let's just keep going. But we seemed to just retreat into ourselves, and I think that was obviously the team knew the jeopardy. Obviously, dropped many points would have opened up the chance for Hearts to extend the goal difference or even win the league last night. And I can understand maybe being a bit more conservative, but I wish we'd have been a wee bit more persistent and try to get that third goal. I did think we sort of tried to just see it out, and against this Motherwell team, that's a bad idea. I can't really think any other big chances with. Maybe the one Iheanacho had when the keeper was off his line. Obviously, I think if he hits the target with that, it's going to go in because he's lifted it out of the keeper, but unfortunately that went wide. And then we get a sort of warning shot from Maswinisi. It was a good save by Sinisalo, and Ralston sort of knocked it away. And then there was that one where they had the shot that deflected onto the bar, and Maswinisi's header was quite comfortably saved by Sinisalo, but he did well to get back on his line and make sure it didn't go out. But then, as I say, we just sort of sat back and allowed Motherwell to keep coming at us, and they got their goal in like 84th minute or something, or whenever it was. It just felt like the world was going to cave in, because obviously at that point I think Hearts were 2-0 up, maybe 3-0, but if it wasn't 3-0 it soon was after it, and you were then looking at knowing that even if we seen it out as a draw, you're still going to need to beat a Hearts team by 3 goals at least, and that it's a Hearts team that have been pretty solid defensively, so I think people are worried. And as I said, like, I just felt like it was coming, and the whole time I've been telling people that Martin O'Neill was sort of righting wrongs from 20 years ago, and I then just had this fucking nightmare vision as conceding another one, because I felt like that was the only way it was going to go, and Scales completely missed a ball, and I think it was Charles Cook maybe that messed up the opportunity. But at that point I did think that Motherwell were going to score again, and that would have been that. But I agree with what you said, Darren. I don't think there was many sort of chances we created, especially in injury time. Motherwell had a lot of the ball for the first 2-3 minutes there, and we just thankfully got up the park, and Iheanacho tries to break free and is tackled, and it goes out for that throw in, and Sriracha obviously plays it long. And I think there was confusion at first, because obviously Chris Sutton and the commentator, they're looking at this elbow because Trusty's rolling about the deck. Clearly his felt contact on his face, and everybody's looking for that. And then I think it's just before Beaton gets sent to VAR that you look and you realise the boy's hand's literally above his neck, it's covering his face, and it looks clear as day that it's hit it. And there's been a lot made about a beating only took 20 seconds. I don't know why you would need more than that, because to me it looks clear as day that his hand's in a sort of unnatural position and makes contact with it. Like, we gave a penalty away at Dundee a few weeks ago where Colby Donovan was sort of trying to block a shot and his hands are too high, and that's why that one was given. So I think the reaction's been fucking pathetic. I'm sure we'll touch on it a bit more, but fair play to Iheanacho. He's had so many of the massive moments, obviously, when he first came in. I had that one at Kilmarnock late on, and then scored late at Dundee the other week as well, scored late at Hibs, and to step up and take that, I thought Engels was going to hit it. I know he's obviously been a regular penalty taker when he wasn't injured, and I was surprised that Iheanacho hit it, especially with Engels on the park, but fair play, just steps up and sends the keeper the wrong way, cool as you like, and fucking stuff of dreams to take it to the last day. It felt like this was in our wildest dreams. We couldn't have imagined that probably after Tannadice that we would have been still in the hunt at this point, but the team have stuck together. The manager's getting something out of them that they've not been able to produce most of the season, so we've kept it in our own hands. As you say, we're not on the driving seat yet, but we've got a massive chance now on Saturday, being at home, 59,000 Celtic fans and 700 Hearts fans. Like, everything should be in our favour. Well, if you had offered us either when Rodgers left or when Nancy left, if you'd have said that you can have a straight shootout in the final day with Hearts to see who wins the league, I think we would have definitely took it. But Andy, another memorable night at Fir Park. What was your thoughts on it? And was there points where you thought it was gone as well?
Fuck aye, I think everybody probably had that feeling. Obviously a lot to cover, and a lot to go through, but just a feeling of fucking relief, of joy, of every fucking emotion under the sun. I think that probably describes how everybody felt last night. But I thought the game itself, we weren't great at all. We really, really weren't. Been a bit of a story of the season. Like, I think we all had a wee bit of confidence, obviously, after the game at the weekend. You think, right, kick on. Like, even the manner we won it, the way we sort of set about Rangers, I thought maybe we're about to. I don't want to say click as if we've not been winning games, but we have been. But I think in terms of our performance, we were all hoping that we'd gone to this game and, I'm not saying blow Motherwell away, but at least be comfortable. No big into fucking extra time praying for a goal. But it wasn't to be that way. Probably symptomatic of the entire season. I've been said how many times we've said this season that we can't keep winning games like this, but apparently we fucking can, so we take that. But I think it's just their goal comes for it's an okay strike, but I think it's just a mishmash of taking a wee nick. The keeper's not really got a clear sight of the ball, and listen, these things happen at any level of football. It's about how you react to that, and I thought we weren't great, but we sort of picked up. The Maeda finish is, as you mentioned earlier, we've been talking about it a few times, and it's unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And ironically, I think we all said last night as well that if Maeda takes a better first touch, he probably doesn't score. But he couldn't have. There's no player in the world that could have finished that any better. And it's just the nature of him. I think when it's that instinct, when he's not getting any time to think or overthink, he buries it. And then I think, to be honest, in the entire game, I would only say altogether we had about a 10-15 minute at a push spell. We were any good, pretty bang average and struggling. Aside from that, second half comes out. Nigrin, I totally agree with you, him and Taneki were getting it stinking off me, because I just thought they were completely heartless at times. I don't know how many times they were pulling out of challenges and just being an empty jersey, and really, really losing that battle, and making it difficult for us and for the rest of the team. But credit to him. I mean, that for all his flaws, and listen, I do agree Nigrin at tight, but he's got that in him. He's just got that knack of putting the ball in it. And especially when we're struggling for goals elsewhere, you need it. And listen, his finish is another one, which is it's a fucking great hit. It's got everything on it. It's got swerve, it's got power, it's got accuracy. The keeper was never saving it. And again, it's whatever it was, about 10 minutes after the restart at second half, thinking, right, here we go. Let's go. Let's get a third and really sort of put this game to bed. in true Celtic fashion. It just doesn't happen. We start retreating, and we've done it a few times. I don't know if it's by choice of the coaching staff or if it's just nerves settling. I don't know what it is, but the amount of times that we just start to retreat when we've got a single goal lead, and listen, we're simply no good enough. One, at holding the ball, to be honest, and two, defensively to get away with that. And teams know it. It's no evolved where when we wanted to hold the ball against teams that are well in this league, we could. We really don't have the capability to do that, and we don't have the defence or really the ability to hold teams out and to hold teams that are good on the ball out. And that's what you seen. I don't think anybody was shocked watching that second half when Motherwell get their goal. You felt that it was coming, and listen, that's maybe just by the nature of it. There was, I think, when they scored, we'd made all our 5 changes. That's nearly half. Well, that's half your outfield sort of 11. It's difficult, but again, I don't know how we do it. I don't know what fucking deal Martin O'Neill's made with the devil. I really don't know how we keep digging games out and we keep digging them out in the most bizarre fashions at the fucking last minute. Where everybody's seen that thing that's going about social media the now, and it's the minute of all late goals and everything. And listen, that in itself is incredible, and it takes something for a team to have that attitude and to keep going to the very end. Even in extra time, we weren't great. I think across the whole game, we had fucking 3 shots on target, and it was 3 goals, which I suppose you could look at it saying it's clinical, but don't want to spend too much time on it, but throw-in comes in, and the fucking boat, I don't know why his arms up that high. That's the real question that could be asked. Why the fuck's he jumping up like that? It's just stupid, and you run the risk, and the reality is, the rules as they are say if your arms are in an unnatural position and it hits the ball, it's a fucking penalty. That's it. And as you mentioned earlier, Dan, people are talking about how long the ref took at the VAR monitor, and yet all you ever hear otherwise is how refs take too long to make decisions. If they need to look at it that much, then it's not conclusive. Yet when a ref looks at it a couple of times and says, right, I've made my decision in whatever it was, 30 seconds, that's a problem as well. If people just fucking manufacture an outrage, people are desperate to be annoyed. People, oh, you've had all the fucking Muppets of the day. You've fucking Gary Lineker and Jeff Dale and fuck knows who else. Talk sports specials about it. Let's be honest. We know what their issue is. They want Hearts to win the league, and now they're just manufacturing this outrage. And again, on top of that, it gets all these people, news reports, fucking radio stations, papers. It gets them clicks, likes, views, all the rest of it. So that's what they're doing. As I say, the ref's taking a look at it. The boys' horns in a fucking stupid position. It's hit the ball, penalty. And again, the big man to step up and finish it. Calmest guy in the stadium. I think I can speak for us all when my fucking heart was thumping out my chest, absolutely shiting myself, watching him hit it through my fingers. But thankfully, he stuck it away. And now it's on to the next one. It's as I say, I don't know. I don't know how much more my fucking heart can take of games like this. I'm glad it's the end of the season domestically now, but I don't know how they've done it. I don't know how they've continually done it. And as you say, if you'd asked anybody, final day shootout with Hearts to win the league, would you take it? You'd bite their hand off for it. And all this other shite as well about Hearts, they deserve it and all the rest of it. Whoever wins that game in the final day of the season deserves the title. That's almost the beauty of when a season ends like this. The deserving team will win the game, and that'll be that. But I don't think at times we play well enough to win the title. And I've said it before. I think whatever team wins the title this year will probably be one of the worst teams to win the Scottish League, and fuck knows how, probably my entire life. But there's something about this team, whether it's divine intervention or something else, I don't know, but they just keep picking up points and they just keep getting the goal when it matters. And I think we just need them to do it one more time, and hopefully they will.
Aye, absolutely. As you say, it's looking like probably be our lowest points total for a while, obviously, compared to years gone by when you've had teams in the high 90s and even breaking the 100-point mark in a few seasons. But Danny, what's your sort of thoughts on the outroar about it, the penalty? No, don't get me wrong, when I seen Chris Boyd fucking imploding live on Sky last night, I thought it might be bad, but when I woke up this morning, I couldn't believe how so many people, as Andy says, fucking your Gary Linekers and Jeff Stellings, whoever else, Talksport, devoting fivers to it. I just didn't hit. Maybe I'm seeing it through green tinted spectacles. I I don't know how it's seen as that controversial a decision. And if you want to be fucking open about it, Celtic could probably have made more of the fact that Diaz Almeida was absolutely taken out by the Motherwell keeper in the first half, and as far as I know, that wasn't even checked. So I genuinely, from my opinion, I can only say what I see. I just cannot get. Like, I'm sure if I've seen other teams get penalties like that, I can maybe say, oh, it's maybe a bit harsh. But for me, your hands above your head, and whether you've headed it through your hands or whatever, your hand's there, and it looks clear. There's been obviously pictures released today that look to show the moment of impact on his hand, and I genuinely was shocked at how over the top the reaction's been. And do you think it is people that genuinely think it wasn't a penalty, or do you think it's, as Andy says, people just gutted that the Hearts fairy tale's been postponed at least for one more match day?
People made their mind up when they seen the first replay that it wasn't a penalty because they didn't want it to be a penalty. They didn't want Celtic getting a penalty. So the fact that Celtic got a penalty, oh, it's this, it's that, it's the worst ever, it's blah, blah, blah. But just admit it, you didn't want it to be a penalty. So it does, short of the Motherwell player fucking catching it with two horns, you're never going to turn around and say, oh, that was a penalty. It's clear as day that it is a penalty. But I seen a good point there on Twitter. It was just, I was scrolling when Andy was talking. The replay that they showed Stephen McLean on on Saturday night for the penalty incident in the Hearts game. Why did they know of that angle? For that probably would have been a clearer angle. You'd have seen the home ball as well. When I first seen it, as I say, I didn't know. I thought it was an elbow because Trusty was down holding his head. Then when you see it again, you think, his horns, what's his horn doing there? When you see the pictures that have come out today, and know the ones that have been AI'd, like the actual official, I think it's even the Motherwell club photographer, you see the boy's horn. He's got his horn wrapped against his head. I don't know why. Andy Halliday came out and said the Motherwell players are saying that that happened because Trusty moved his horn up. It's fucking ridiculous. If that was the case, that would happen at every jump ball that's contested. Just admit the boy horned it and go, fuck, what's he doing that for? Didn't want it to be a penalty, but okay. Like, the outrage is just unbelievable. Folk want VAR banned. I want VAR banned. I think everybody in football wants VAR banned. But the way folk have went on the day, like, there's people that claim not to be interested in football that have got an opinion on this. And if you noticed all these people that came up with, and Rangers fans who are third in the league, 10 points behind Celtic, 11 behind Hearts, have just lost 4 in a row. And yet they're out saying, oh, finally, this is the moment, this is the watershed moment. It was fucking 10 days ago, Celtic had a Stonewall penalty denied when the boy Hibs player decided to shove a Celtic player in the box, and also Hibs' goal was a home ball, which didn't get called. And then if you say, oh well, that was 10 days or so ago, that was too far. Well, you just mentioned it. Maeda was assaulted in the box. It didn't even get looked at. Yeah, I'm hearing all this thing where you could see the one in the second off with Slattery, who's got a reputation for diving. I think he's been banned for diving before this season. Fucking, you can clearly see he slips on live TV, and yet now people who, by the way, were supposed to be watching their own team play are coming out and saying, well, Sky only showed 2 replays. One for a rubbish angle and then another half-hearted one, i.e. the one that shows the boy slipped and it was never a penalty. And you can tell that's the guilt tripping them because they know that it was a Celtic penalty, and yet they're coming up with ways to like make out like, well, Motherwell should have got this, or Motherwell should have got that. And now I'm seeing people get on about Ralston taking the throw in, that was a foul throw. It's just ludicrous. Just listen, see if you'd say, I really, 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 really didn't want it to be a penalty because I fucking hate they bastards Celtic, I'd have more respect for you than fucking going out there and just lying in the spot and refusing to fucking acknowledge what your eyes are showing you. It was a clear horn ball. Pish about he's not made himself any bigger. His horn's not in a natural position. He's walking about. He's jumped up for the ball with his fucking horn in the air, strapped to his head for some reason. It's a fucking obvious penalty. I get that you're upset. I get that you're frustrated. You want Hearts to win the league. All the Neutrals want Hearts to win the league. That's no surprise. That doesn't bother me, or probably doesn't bother you two or any other Celtic fan. But when it's getting to a point where you're blatantly refusing to acknowledge what your eyes have shown you, you've went a wee bit too far. And Chris Boyd, I mean, at Easter Road, Celtic have got to trust the process. Celtic have got to trust the refs. You've got to trust the process. Celtic went out in the second half and get a job done. Last night, I thought Chris Boyd was going to come through the fucking telly. He was that angry. And, that's his own bias. That's his own, preconception of Celtic getting the better of him, as it's got the better of a lot of folk, and they've just embarrassed themselves. And Chris Sutton's been quite good all day on them, but it's like, just admit you didn't want it to be a penalty. Like, we'd have more respect for you and you could move on that way. But this has got to play. I mean, you've got Hearts coming out saying they just want a chance at the weekend. The foundation of Hearts, putting pressure at McInnes. Derek McInnes calling it disgusting. He's not even involved in the game. It's got nothing to do with him. Again, he's out mentioning referees by name, talking about refs. Brendan Rodgers get banned for less than that, but McInnes seems to get away with murder. Hearts have not a penalty against them this year. They've had umpteen big decisions that have went their way, including fucking one against Motherwell a few weeks ago, ironically. And it's just strange. And the way folk have been on, and you can really see the anti-Celtic hatred coming out of everybody, and it's great to see. And the thing is, Hearts have still got a great chance to win the league. Like, Celtic have not beat Hearts this year. Hearts have already won at Celtic Park. They've already drawn against us this season, so they should be feeling happy to come to Parkhead. But no, I think they're just, it's embarrassing the way that it's been made out, but it's no surprising considering, with Celtic got it. Like, if that had went to Rangers, right, you could almost, as soon as that picture came out, you just almost feel everybody go, well, it was a penalty, let's move on, and then that was it. But like, the way they argue black is white just because they didn't want it to be a penalty is embarrassing, and hopefully we can go on and really fucking compound the misery for them and make sure it lasts all summer.
Oh, absolutely. You've mentioned quite a few of the fucking biggest nuggets that have come out today. It's been a day of people embarrassing themselves. Like, as you mentioned, you've fucking Chris Boyd 10 days ago, Easter Road, saying you need to trust the officials, you need to trust VAR. And then last night was an absolute fucking disgrace. How he's hired as a pundit, this guy's beyond me. He just completely, I tell you one thing, last night he was on saying it's never a handball, and then the day he's on another fucking podcast with Sutton and he says even if it does hit his hand then it's irrelevant because it would hit his head anyway. He's a fucking idiot. Like, the fact that he's so prominent in Scottish football just makes a mockery, especially when the eyes of the world are going to be on it on Saturday. Fucking Ali McCoy's on TalkSport this morning, an absolute disgrace what he was coming out with. He was coming out essentially saying that Beaton gave that decision because years ago he says that Celtic fans threatened Beaton and made him feel unsafe. Now, fucking forgetting that it was Andrew Dallas that sent Beaton in the first place to go and check it, but he's a slimy bastard and he's always been like that. He was the one, I remember about just over a decade ago, whenever it was, when there was like SFA panels and that, and they were anonymous, and he was wanting people named and that. He's a fucking slimy bastard, and any Celtic fan that says, he's not too bad, I like Super Ali on commentary, wee Sally, like, you fucking have a look in the mirror. He's a fucking disgrace, and you should be ashamed of yourself. You put up with him. He's a total wanker, and say, to be fair, it is bad on the refs. These refs are making brave decisions, and I think they've got them right. Like, there's been sort of slow-mo replays of the one that McLean decided to stand by his decision. I think that was right. And then last night, to make that decision, it's probably the difference between, look, we'd have been probably on here saying, you know what, see if Celtic get going, we can go and win 4-0 on Saturday. But would we really believe that? I doubt it. But that decision last night is a massive difference. It's such a material difference in whether we have a good chance of winning the league or a very slim chance. And I think they made the right decision. It's so important for Scottish football that you get these decisions right. And the absolute victim hunt that they've been going after and saying, this is Hearts, they've been cheated, as you say. Darren McInnes, for the first time this season, coming out and accusing refs of making wrong decisions and saying he didn't even need to ask who the penalty was for when he heard it was a penalty in the 96th minute and that everybody's against him. He should be banned from the touchline for Saturday. It won't happen, but he should really be banned, especially Hearts, as you say, conceded a penalty this year. Early in the season, I think they fucking got a 2-each draw at St Mirren where they clearly had a goal that should have been chopped off, and then the Rangers captain Shankland was out saying that his first goal that they scored in their early win at Ibrox, like, he says he just expected it to get chopped because he knew it was a handball. So even if you think it's a terrible decision, maybe just fucking look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, these sort of come for us and come against us, you've just got to sort of go with the flow. But I do think it's been an absolute disgrace, and as I say, I think it puts massive pressure on the officials because I think the SFA have already briefed papers on that and said that they believe it was the right decision. So their refs are following their guidance, and clearly the SFA are backing them up. So the fact that there's been so much attention and so many people calling the SFA corrupt in that, then you've just got to hope it doesn't have a material impact on how these sort of officials make their decisions in games going forward. But Andy, will get back to football because I think we could talk about this all night. Massive game on Saturday now. Before we get into predictions and stuff, how much do you think it will have an impact on Hearts? The fact that, I don't think they would have celebrated if they won the league last night, but you could clearly see in their crowd and maybe in a few other players as well that they looked like they had the wind taken out their sails a bit when they heard about that last minute goal from Celtic. And as I say, how much of a material difference do you think it'll make? I just don't think Celtic are the type of team that are capable of going and beating them 4-0, so it was just so vital that we got that last minute goal.
Oh, fuck, I think, listen, as much as we'd probably be on here saying it's possible and there's ability in the team and all the rest of the shit, I think deep down not one of us would have been betting anything that Celtic could go and beat fucking any team in this league 4-0. So I think it's huge. I think what happened, and I'm sure people have seen the pictures. Some of them have been quite funny, seeing it sort of side by side, the live reaction when news filters through to Tynecastle that they've done it again, and it's got to be fucking soul destroying. We've been on the other end of it. It's when you're sort of waiting in the news coming through, whether it's European games or domestically or whatever else, and you've sort of done your part, and especially for a team who don't win fuck all, like, you don't have that mentality of we're still in control. Like, they were still really hoping for us to make an arse of it, so they didn't have this pressure. And listen, see what you're see even if we just went and won that game at 2-1 or what have you, Derek McInnes would have been out at the same time trying to manufacture something, because he's just trying to create a siege mentality. He's trying to just drum it up and have his players having that attitude of this is completely, we're going to be playing fucking 13 men and all this shit. That's what he's trying to create, and that's what he's trying to come away with, and it doesn't shock me. As I say, if it wasn't this, it'd have been something else. And as we said earlier, everybody else is just trying to jump in that bandwagon of, oh, we wanted Hearts to win the league, but no, it's boarding into something else. We just don't want to come out and say that. But I think for us, it won't change. It won't change how we go about the game. It won't change anything for us. Our focus was always win every game from now to the end of the season. We all knew that was pretty much going to have to be the case. And I don't think they'll change how they play. I don't think at any stage they would have done. I think they'll play the same way they would have played if we did have to overturn a 4-goal swing or whatever. They'll come out, they'll turn into a fight. It'll be like playing any other Derek McInnes team that's turned up to Park. He'd try to take something off us, and that shouldn't be a surprise. As I say, all he's trying to do is sort of create that mentality and create that within his own dressing room, and in the hope that it gives them something else, and it sort of gives them that extra couple of percent that he's looking for. But as I say, I know we'll come on to the game and predictions and stuff, so I'll hand it back to you to come to Tony for his thoughts.
Aye, absolutely. Tony's arrived late like Celtic, but he is here now. Tony, we've sort of covered the game and the penalty and the furore surrounding it, but it would be unfair not to let you just go on one of your legendary tangents about it, so I'll let you take the floor and just give us your verdict on last night. And you can even let us know in our group chat earlier that you were doing your own experiments to see how far you could hand header a ball.
Well, let me tell you, I'm better with my hand attacking the ball than I'm with my feet. I was at the back with the wife this morning. I says to her, Bob, to see if I can header this with my hand stuck to my forehead, which of course is a very natural place for your hand to be stuck to your forehead. And no, the ball didn't just drop, it travelled some distance. No, I think I'm quite fair. I think this season, very rarely if I says a result, if I've said it at all, somebody can maybe correct me if I'm wrong, if I says we've lost because of refs. I've says we've lost because we're shite. But this meltdown has been something else. I mean, I think some people have made a fucking holy show of themselves. Ali McCoist, that was just years of hurt, just busting at him when he's wee clip in TalkSport. I've spoke to 5 people from TalkSport and they've all mentioned the word corruption. I'm going, what in the name of fuck are you talking about? You are making a cunt of yourself. Because it's funny, whenever a decision goes against Celtic, the likes of Boyd, McCoist, they all have a good laugh about it. And it's all, and then people talk about the kind of whole paranoia with Celtic fans. Now you've got Rangers fans who think that their American owners shouldn't go to the SFA or FIFA. They should go to the FBI to conduct an investigation into Scottish football, so it's good to see they've taken it really well. I genuinely, I think I'm normally fair. Like, I thought Johnson, if they sent him off, I wouldn't have complained. But I keep seeing these clips. There's people like Simon Jordan, oh, this is an outrageous decision. And then next to the clip is a picture of the Motherwell guy handling the ball. I don't get it. I don't see what the issue is. I think it's a clear penalty. I really do. I think it's a clear penalty. I think he's jumped up. I don't know why his hands where it is, unless maybe he's a Celtic fan. I don't know. For me, I think it's a clear penalty. I genuinely believe that. I think I caught a wee bit Andy at the end there. I think it is a case of everybody wants Hearts to win it, and that's fine, and I get that. And you know, they've still got a great chance. Let's no kid on it's done. I mean, there's still a big game to go, and Hearts are capable of a draw, I think, anyway. So I think all the neutrals, your Gary Linekers, your Jeff Stellings, etc. Well, Jeff's obviously got Daft Alley in his ear as well. They all want Hearts to win it, or the Huns want Hearts to win it. That's absolutely fine. I think the only people in the world that want us to win it are Celtic fans and Hibs fans. So I get the kind of desperation to see Hearts win. It's like when Leicester won it. Everybody, I wanted Leicester to win it. I didn't want Man City or Arsenal to win it. You want to see a kind of big achievement happening or something historic. And I get that. It would be a monumental achievement if Hearts get the draw, the win on Saturday. But it doesn't mean you just change the rules to suit Hearts, you know. And it's mad. I mean, some of this stuff, this is corruption and it's all to suit one team. And I don't know if you just spoke about previous decisions, but if you want to talk about handballs, I mean, Shanklin at Ibrox, his goal shouldn't have stood. Now, had that not stood, Hearts maybe wouldn't have beat Rangers. Now, normally, we would say, well, that's great, we don't want Rangers to win. But in this case, Rangers have ended up 10 points behind us. So that would have favoured us. So that was the one that went for Hearts. I think there was another one I seen that there was a handball or something against St Mirren that went for Hearts. So that's kept them in the hunt. And then people talking about, obviously, Trusty was at the centre of this penalty. The one against Hibs at home. So Trusty gets pulled down. No penalty, should have been given. He then gets sent off and Hibs win the game. So that's such a huge decision. It costs us the 3 points and then we lose it on Trusty for a few games. So that could have derailed the season. But we kind of managed to fight back. So I think they've been constant with this kind of idea. And it's funny when you read the forums, the Rangers fans' forums, it's unbelievable. Oh, this is corruption. This has been going on for years. And I'm going, do they actually believe that there's some kind of papal conspiracy going on here to suit Celtic? Because you look at some of the titles we've won. There's fucking last season could have been a papal conspiracy last season for the title. We finished about 17 points ahead of them, and they beat us twice. This season apparently is a fix, but we've lost 8 games, lost a cup final. I mean, if this is a conspiracy to help us, it's the worst one in the world. And I thought Beaton was pish last night. I thought he booked Maida for that. I think he booked Maida because he wanted to. But no, this whole idea and McCoy's as well, I thought he was outrageous. I think that puts to bed any idea that he's this good old cheeky chap. He has true colours shone right through with that whole, Celtic fans put pressure on John Beaton years ago, and this is maybe why he's given it. Supposed to he's given it because VAR says, John, that's a handball. John's watched it and went, you're right, that is a handball, I'm going to give a penalty. I think it's quite interesting that McCoy is even talking about it when his team's just lost 4 games in a row. The Hall of Shamer captain's been fucked right under the bus, and in turn fucked our manager under the bus. So if we had lost 4 games out of 4 in the split, I wouldn't be talking about referees. I would probably be saying, why are we so shit? To quote a great man, have Rangers ever just tried winning games? Maybe that would suit them better. But aye, I think it's great to listen to. And as I say, I think what if Hearts draw on Saturday or win? Is it still a conspiracy to help us if we don't win on Saturday? It's just madness. McInnes, of course, expected. It's disgusting. I mean, fucking hell. He's lost the run himself there. Any other manager at any other time, that's a ban for saying everybody's against us. What does that mean? Surely somebody at the SFA goes, Derek, what do you mean by that? Because everybody's actually with you apart from Hearts, apart from Hibs and Celtic fans. So do you think the referees are against you? Is that what you mean, Derek? And if so, you can just sit in the stand. But I was talking to a pal who said, would you not rather him in the touchline? Because he might make an ass of it. I thought that's also a good point. But the game itself, I thought we were bad. I thought we get played off the pitch by a very good Motherwell side. I think we done well to get back into it. It was a good finish by Maida. We needed it. There's also the one where Maida gets cleaned out by the keeper. You get guys like Chris Boyd saying it's a penalty, but it doesn't excuse what happened in the end. But if that penalty was given, we would have been 2-1 up earlier in the game, and it could have changed the full game. So, as I say, I think some people, I genuinely would rather if Chris Boyd came on the telly and went, I'm fucking raging if Fenian bastards get that penalty because I don't want them to win. Fuck all. See if he says that, I would go. At least you're being honest. At least you're saying what you actually think. Don't start going, oh, Trusty's lifted his arm and oh, it's not a penalty, even if it is hit his arm. Don't start going through all these different routes. Just say hands up. I hate the Fenian bastards. They're jammy, slimy fuckers, but that was a penalty. I don't know why people can't just say that. I'd rather just be honest. Don't try and kid on that you're fucking. Is it some kind of non-penalty or some kind of corruption thing? Jesus Christ almighty. And that's it. It's all these Rangers fans. The fix is in. It's a fix. The league's fixed. But they're all going to turn up next season. So surely if you believe with your heart to heart you were watching a game that's rigged for Celtic to win the title, why the fuck would you buy a ticket? Just shite. Just can't take that they've blown up with 4 games to go. To be fair, as I say, it's not really anything to do with Rangers. It's absolutely nothing to do with them because they're not in the fucking title race. They're fucking, they're miles behind them. I mean, our best case scenario for Rangers, they will finish 7 points behind the worst Celtic team I've ever seen in my life. So for them, I think they've got bigger fish to fry, but look, and enjoy their meltdown. If we can get it over the line, Jesus Christ, God help us all for what the forms will be saying. Even if we don't get it over the line, I'll still think it's some sort of conspiracy. But no, I think that like the likes of Boyd, McInnes, they're trying to put pressure on the officials ahead of Saturday. It's just kind of common tactic. You've seen it. Sure, we've done it before as well. I think Rodgers done it a couple of years ago, put a bit of pressure on Beaton, and he got banned for it, so I wouldn't be surprised if McInnes get the same ban. But no, credit the team for digging in and managing to get the win in the end. I thought it was a great penalty by Iheanacho, but I'm just glad we don't need to play Motherwell under Jens Berthalascu again, because I'm assuming he's leaving them. I don't know if he's going to come to us after his comments. Don't get me wrong, I think he's a very good football manager, and the way his team sets up to play is very impressive. Thought they were better than us on the night. Thought we had a few moments of magic. Negren's a great goal, Maiders is a great goal, and then it's a great penalty. But apart from that, there was some nice sloppy garbage moments for Engels to McGregor to Scales to just everybody. But at the end of the day, at this point of the season, I think that's when you can say it really is just about results. But I think we're going to need to sharpen up for Saturday. I think the midfield needs to get a fucking grip itself, starting with the captain. You need to be so much quicker and stronger, because it's I think a lot of people have got it in their head this is just going to be a walkover, and I hope to God it is, but I just don't see it happening. We've not really walked over anybody. I think all the wins we've had recently, we've never really hammered anybody. We looked as though we could have hammered Rangers and then just kind of reverted to type and not doing anything. So I think we need to be so careful. I think, I know Negren scores. I wouldn't start him against Hearts. I'd put Hatate in there with Engels and McGregor. And then there's obviously the discussion. I don't think you start any actual. I think he's your man for the 60th minute if you need the goal, or even, I think that's the thing as well. I was saying to somebody, even if we're 1-0 up, we can't try and defend that, because that does not work for us. We need to try and get 2 and 3. We need to just, I think even if it's 2-0, we need to just attack the game as if it's 0-0 to just try and get as many goals as possible, because we're not very good at seeing out games, as proven last night. 5 minutes to go, we concede to Motherwell, we just lose all control. So for me, it's not a far gone conclusion. It's not as if I think, oh, that's it, the league's won. I would feel a lot more relaxed if we had to win 3-0, because the pressure would be off. You wouldn't be expecting it, but no, there's huge expectation on us. But I just don't think it's a dead set. I don't know what you have said, and I know a lot of people are good mates. Steve 8 Gigpod, he's got it won. To be fair, he's been telling me for weeks we're just going to win it. He says we are just going to get the luck of the draw here and just win it. And I've argued the whole time that we won't, and I've been wrong in that regard, because I says we'd finished 3rd or 4th. So delighted I was talking utter shite when it came to that. I wonder if there's the last podcast we done, my audio didn't come through. I actually predicted 3-0 Celtic. I don't know if anybody will actually believe that. And I think it also says as well, as much as we've parked the sack the board stuff, if we win the league on Saturday, please don't think the board are off the hook. We will have won it in spite of them. Don't fucking forget that, God almighty. And if we don't want to, make sure to absolutely hound them, because it'll be their fault. So I just thought I better get that in there. But I guess you can only look forward to it. It's the first time it's went to the last day since 2011, which was a disaster, because I think Rangers were 3-0 up against Kelly in about 10 seconds. So this time the shootout's going to be against the team that's gone for the title. It's good for Scottish football. I'm sure Celtic Park will be rocking. You just need everybody at it. And people keep saying, oh, Martin O'Neill's get the experience of these things. Get experience of going to the last day, but the 2 that went to the last day fucking lost. So hopefully it's 3rd time lucky. The players they've all played in big games to win titles. McGregor, Tierney, Forrest, and everybody else in there, I think, near enough's won a title. So you just need to kind of carry over the line. I think Maida's going to be the most important player on the pitch. Needs to put pressure on the centre halves. especially that big dumpling Finlay, and see if we can get a bit of joy. And then you need the likes of Tanette, Kane Yang to show more. So I think everybody can raise at a level. I think you need 90 minutes out of Johnson, can't you, of him fucking getting subbed off for Ralston unless we're 7-0 up, because fuck that for a carry on. I can't watch him. But no, I think if you'd have said to me after Dundee United beat us 2-0, beat Hearts last game of the season, you win the league, you taking it or leaving it, I'd have snapped your fingers off. So they've done well. You need to give the team credit as much as Neil says that. Says they've got a lot of deficiencies, but they have done well. That you can't question their kind of will to keep going in their effort. So aye, you've got a straight shooter. It's so simple. There's no goal difference involved. You beat Hearts, you've won the league. So we'll see what they come up with. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be watching in the house. I did say I wouldn't be flying in to try and hijack a title party after saying I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't do that. I did say I'll be over for the cup final, but just to watch it in the pub and enjoy that. But no, I guess you can only look forward to it. You can only be up for it. I thought the Hearts fans and players, when it showed in last night, looked quite dejected, but I don't see why. I don't know why. I mean, I know obviously avoiding a 3-0 defeat's a lot better than avoiding a 1-goal defeat, but I thought they would still kind of fancy it. Maybe they do. Maybe they've G'd themselves up. They get a very good result against Falkirk. So, but I can see why we're favourites. We've won leagues before. Hearts haven't for a very long time. A lot of pressure, and we've got the crowd behind us. We've got Green Brigade back in. Are you wanting a prediction?
Aye, go for it, kick us off.
I mean, 1-0 Celtic, late goal. The 92nd minute goal. Scorer, Albert Kidd.
Well, there you go, that's the first prediction, and it's a Celtic League victory. Danny, I'll let you go up next after your fucking superb prediction earlier in the week. Please tell me it's going to be 7-0 Celtic.
You know these games, they play out in your head beforehand, and I've got this thing that Celtic are going to come out the traps on Saturday. I just think we've got all the momentum. I thought what Tony just said there about Hearts was very telling, and I actually was really impressed. I'm scared saying this, but when Hearts drew at Motherwell, I thought after the game their crowd were really good. Like, they gave them a massive cheer, and they were like basically saying 2 more to go kind of thing. And I was quite surprised at that, because although it was still in their hands, it also put the result, and it's put the league into Celtic's hands, and I thought that was quite impressive. Like, they're up for it. But last night at full time, there were people in the stand in tears, and the players were a bit dejected as well. So hopefully Celtic we're at the opposite end of that. So hopefully we can take that into the game. But I'd be lying to you if I didn't think it was going to be another late show. I'll go for 3-1, but I think we'll get the second and third. Like, maybe the second will come. I think Hearts might score first, but after what I've just said. But I think it'll be 3-1, and I think Iheanacho will score maybe the third. But my head has got to score. He's scored in every other fucking game. He's fantastic. He's right bang in form now. So he'll get the goal, and I don't know who'll get the second, but I think Celtic will win the league. And I think I've always maintained that if Celtic won, I think I said if Celtic won all their games after Dundee United, I think it was 7. If we won 7 out of 7, we'd win the league. Until last week, I thought we're going to win all 5 and get losing it in goal difference. But the fact that we can win every game in the split, win the league. Tony said it. There's times at this season where you'd have thought if you get to a last game shootout against Hearts to win the league, you would just take it. Of course you would. And it's just been such a fucking wild season, but we've came first full circle again, where Wilfred Nancy, who popped up again today, his first game, I know we were level with Hearts at the time, but you beat them, you go above them. We've not been close to going above Hearts again since, and now Martin O'Neill with 1 game left can go above Hearts. It just seems that it's kind of telling its own story, but I'll go for 3-1.
Certainly take that. Andy, what about you?
I feel like I'm copying Danny's homework here, but try to change it, no make it obvious. I think it being at home's absolutely massive. I think we've seen firsthand between the last 2 games alone just how important that is for us at the minute. Because away from home we're like a totally different team. I think the place will be absolutely rocking, and I really, really do think it will make such a difference. I was the same as Danny. I watched some of the clips that after the game at Tynecastle and Dale, Wayne's out in the pitch and all that, and I know it's the last game at home, but like, families out in the pitch and people in the crowd greeting and all that, and it looked like a team and a fan base just emotionally done. And I think it's probably the manner. And as I said earlier, I think like their players would have watched us dismantle Rangers, then they've probably all seen it back now, and they'll have that in their heads as well. Like, this team just don't go away. So I think it's the stars have aligned for us. I said it earlier. I don't know what the fuck's happened, how it's happened, how we've got here. Deals with devils, divine intervention. I don't know what it is, but I do think that it's all coming together for us. And I think similarly, I mean, I know it's mental after watching the performance and how bad we were last night. But I think it'll be a performance closer to last weekend against Rangers. I think it's one of them that we're going to put in. I think we'll come out absolutely flying. And I think 3-1 as well, but I think it'll be entirely different. I think it'll be 3-0. The game will be more a bit of a party atmosphere in the goal. The game will be more or less done, and Hearts will maybe get a wee goal towards the end that will put the shitters up as well, because we've seen how susceptible we can be to conceding goals in bunches, but I don't think it will make much of a difference. I think the game will sort of peter out and the celebrations will ensue, and we'll sort of have another title raised at Parkhead. So I'll go with 3-1. In my head, that'll be on the score sheet yet again.
Yeah, I can't tell. I sort of have a different feeling from you. I don't think Hearts will have anything late on. I think, a bit like Danny, I think we might go behind. I actually have this feeling we're going to concede the first 10 minutes, but I think, a bit like last week, I think we'll have enough to overcome it. I'm going to go for 2-1 Celtic. I just think the occasion will get to Hearts. They've had a great season, but I think if they have any sort of negativity go against them on Saturday, whether it be red card or conceding a goal to go behind, I think their heads will just completely go. As you say, it's like there's players there, like McGregor, Forrest, pretty much every player on that team, apart from maybe Nigrin, been there at Celtic and won league titles, so they know what's required, and it really is just, I think Martin O'Neill just deserves this. If I want it more for him than anybody. Like, it's, as Tony mentioned, he's had 2 final day games to win the league, and we've no won either of them, so I think this has been a season of sort of right and wrongs for Martin O'Neill, and look, that's him went to Fir Park and got the late goal rather than conceding. He obviously got to put St Mirren out at Hampden, which he should have in December as well. I think that this was always the way it was meant to end, with him beating Hearts and putting us top of the table. Should have happened in December, but now hopefully it's going to happen when it really matters, on the last day of the season. It'd just be an absolutely sort of fairy tale end. I know we'll still get a Scottish Cup final to come after that, but I just think it would be so perfect for him to get that league title at Celtic Park as well. I'm praying that we're going to have enough. I think that we've got to watch, because the occasion's obviously going to be massive for us as well, and I think you need to remember, as much as the team have got character and they keep going, Hearts have been top of the league since September. Like, it's unbelievable how long they've kept it going. Like, you can't just discount them that they're definitely going to fold if they get a lead and they hang on to it. Like, our team has still, even in a few of the wins, shown that there's spells in the game where we just go missing and players go missing and perhaps don't have the heart to be in that Celtic team. But I think the home advantage is going to be crucial for us, so I'm going to go 2-1 Celtic. I think Hearts will take the lead. I think we'll equalise early on after it, but then I think the game will still be in the balance in the last 15 minutes before we'll get a goal. I think Daisameda will get the equaliser, and I'm trying to think who'll score the winner. And he actually sort of deserves it just for the impact he's been making, but I don't know, maybe Kieran Tierney will go for him to cap a fine season by scoring a league winning goal at Celtic Park, which I'm sure is something he's always dreamed of as well. But we'll be back after that. Who knows when? It could be because we win it and we're out celebrating for days, or it could be because we're just fucking gutted that we got this close and it didn't go our way. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune in on Saturday and see how it goes. I'll be at the game. I'm very nervous about it. I must say, when the fixtures came out, everybody was buzzing about this potential shootout in the last day, but I felt sick about it, and I still do feel sick about it. I feel like I might just stand outside the stadium until we're 3-0 up and then go in and enjoy it, because I think that's the sort of lead I'd need to be enjoying the game at that point. But we'll be back after that game. As I say, I don't know when, but we'll be back before the Scottish Cup final, I'm sure, just to reflect on what will be a monumental weekend in one way or another, and to preview that game against Neil Lennon's Dunfermline. So thanks very much for taking time to listen. I know we are over the 1 hour mark, so it's a long episode that will come out on the Friday for you, so hopefully you've time to listen before we play Hearts on Saturday lunchtime. But from myself, Darren, Danny, Andy and Tony, it's been a pleasure. We've been 4 times in a podcast. We'll speak to you next week. Kill help.